going on, guys? Chris here with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal in Palm Beach County, Florida, and today we got an unexpected job popped up. Yesterday is the second day of the property clean out that I had a video for, and when I was at home counting all my coins, which if you watch the video you would see at the end, I got a bunch of coins on a job. The organizer I work with called me and said she had a ton of stuff coming up this weekend if I was available. Unfortunately, I'm going out of town this weekend to Tampa, Florida for a couple of days. So I would be back Monday morning, which I have a job for. So the job today got canceled because somebody bought the house and they're just going to let them deal with it. So if you watched the last video, you would understand. And I had the day open. I was just going to run some errands, maybe do an estimate. And I haven't heard back from the guy for the estimate yet. So we're going to go ahead and do a job for the organizer, which is looking to be about a full load on her guess. And then I'm going to be moving a few small items, about enough I could fit in the bed of my truck, that will be moving to a condo. So it'll be the full load junk removal plus a little bit of a side job at the same time. I'll run to the dump, get everything done, so that way I'm ready for my job tomorrow morning, which is just a few vanities and countertops, and then we'll be all set for the weekend. I wanted to talk about a few of the ways that you can charge extra when you do bigger jobs that are a little bit more complex, the type of things you can charge for, how to kind of work it into your price, and how to kind of convince the customer that you're not just screwing them over, that it's actually a legitimate thing. So stay tuned for that. I just got frustrated and left the dump without dumping. So like when you go in, they have all the vegetation first, and then you have your mix of like furniture, bulk, construction, like just trash from the garbage trucks. So everything was full of vegetation, and the next one was all full of contractor trucks and stuff, and then it was all the garbage trucks. So I went to the very end, because usually sometimes there's bulk over there, and the bulldozer guy was doing stuff. And I went to go back up around him, and he was like swimming all over the damn place. And I was like, all right, well, you're going to hit me. So I went to go pull forward again. And then all the garbage trucks are coming. And like they're all parking a zigzag because they're dumping out the back. And I was like, what the fuck? So I ended up leaving. The guy honked at me. I was like, nope, I'll turn around and come back, because you guys are screwing me over right now and I'm getting upset. So round two, we're going to head back inside. I'm going to park over by the vegetation, and they can deal with the separation themselves because everyone's being jerks. Alright, we were at the property. Nothing super crazy. Nothing is like real big or heavy or complicated. There's a shed that we're gutting out entirely except for the shutters. And there's some patio furniture, and then there's some stuff inside that's all marked donation. I'm still going to take it away and I'll donate it because it makes no sense for me to pay for the dump if it's all in good condition. But overall, it'll probably be, I'm thinking, 3/4 of a load, maybe a full, because the patio furniture does take up a lot of room. So we're going to go ahead and bring you guys on a walkthrough. Right now we're putting on bug spray because I'm in a very greenery kind of area. I always keep this in my truck, plus sunscreen, because I don't want to get bit by mosquitoes while I'm outside doing stuff. So I'll go ahead and show you guys it outside and the stuff inside, and then we'll get started. Getting into the video topic of extra things to charge for when you have larger jobs, keep in mind I'm not charging for any of these because this is for the organizer I do a lot of work for, and I actually already have payment for the full load already check written out done, so I'm not charging anything else. But one of the things you want to kind of keep an eye out for is anything that either requires additional labor after the fact, or anything that will cost you more money, whether it's for disposal or something that adds time to your job, because we charge by volume. You only really charge for time if it's like a clean out. But if I'm having to spend an extra 20 minutes doing a standard job, charge that extra time, because that's money that you're losing on your end. So for example, long walks. This is where my truck is, in the driveway. This is a path I had to use to clean out an entire shed. So let's go ahead and walk this together. Da, da, da. Oh look, another gate. And now if I wanted to go the other way, it's the same exact thing, except I'm going through different terrains, like grass and then bricks and then grass and then bricks again. So something like this, cleaning out all these small items in the shed, took me collectively probably almost 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. And there wasn't a whole lot in there. Like, you saw it beforehand, you saw me bringing stuff out. Right now my trailer is probably 3/8 full of stuff from the shed. Everything else is the patio furniture in the back. Right now I'm getting all this stuff that's inside the house that's going to likely be donated. Some of it's probably going to get trashed. But something like this took me extra time, which if you're doing it by yourself and you just pay yourself a percentage, that's one thing. But if you're paying for time, or you have employees and you're having to pay them for time, this is stuff you'd want to charge a little extra for. Just charge like 15, 20 bucks extra a load. The other thing would be if you have stairs. Think about the amount of labor, the extensiveness. If you do this on your own like I do, and you have 3 flights of stairs and you have a big piece, maybe a little tight, it would be a lot more difficult than going right out a front door of a first-story house. So I may need to bring another guy with me, and just by doing that, I'm losing money on the job. So what I used to do in the past, and I only really do this now for really big jobs or minimum pickups, is I'll charge an extra 15, 20, 25 bucks depending on how high the flights of stairs are. If it's a second floor, maybe I'll tack on 15. For example, let's say I'm removing a love seat and it's a minimum pickup, so it's 99 bucks. I'll tell them like, oh, okay, you're in an apartment, what floor? Second? Okay, it'll be 114. Third floor? Okay, it'll be 124. So that way I'm not losing money on the additional time, and or if I had to hire someone to come out with me, I could still pay them 20, 40 bucks, and I would only be losing a small profit window versus a quarter of my job. And then you can do the same thing with elevators. So a lot of franchises will charge a high-rise fee. So anything over like the 4th floor, they'll charge extra. And it's not so much of the time it takes for the elevator to get from the 4th, like the 20th floor down to the ground level versus the 4th floor down. It's more of the fact that the more floors you're going up, the more opportunities residents have to stop the elevator and try to board with you. So it's kind of more of a time factor in that sense. That's the reason for the high-rise fee, and a lot of places charge for that. Number one, and this is a little bit more common, is heavy item. So for example, if I was taking all of these are aluminum shutters, but if they were the metal ones, those things are heavy. And in a big bulk, that's a lot of weight. And here's the thing. This, if you were to pile it up into a rectangle, would still be smaller than a twin-size box spring. That weighs, what, 30 pounds versus 300 to 400. So that weight variance, based on the actual volume that it takes up, is gonna hurt us in the long run because we're charged by weight. Now, yes, you could go scrap that if you want to, but that's not the point. If I am moving a granite dresser, right? So a standard dresser, but it has a granite top on it, maybe it's like 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, that's probably a 250, 300 pound dresser right off the back. Versus if it was a little IKEA dresser or a more typical home dresser, probably weighs 100 pounds, that's 3 times the weight. You're charged, let's say for the sake of math, your area charges $100 for a ton of trash. So that's $25 every 500 pounds. If if that one dresser is 60% of it, you're going to hit that 500 mark really fast. That one dresser is probably costing you $16, $17 a dump just for weight purposes. So is there something like that where you would charge a little extra, whether it's 10, 20, 25, whatever? I know College Hunks and some of the other places around here, they charge $100 for the heavy item fee. And some of their guys are very sales pushy because they get commission on their total price. So they'll charge like a sleeper, so they'll tack on $100 charge for it. To me, that's screwing over the customer. I don't do that. I do it for like the example I just gave you. If I have a standard piece that, per the volume of it, like it's tripling 4 or 5 times the weight, it doesn't make sense for me, that's when I charge. And I do that for glass pieces too. So thick glass pieces, I'll charge extra because realistically, it takes up no more room than a picture frame does, but it weighs 10 times as much. So I'll charge something like that. So these are just a few of the things to kind of charge for, but how you can tie them in with their prices is don't itemize your invoices. So when you go to do a job, give them a range for your full truck, and do this for like more complex jobs. So like, say you're going to do a clean out, for example, and you're looking around, there's stuff all over the place, you're gonna have to clean out the kitchen. Maybe it's a 2-3 story house and you're gonna have to go up and down stairs, you have to go down to the basement, maybe you have to go in the attic. Maybe they have a bunch of real big heavy looking pieces, or they have a bunch of appliances. You just know right off the back it's gonna be a complex, long day. You're gonna have to have a couple of guys do it with you. All these surcharges are gonna be adding up. Don't sit there and do an itemized chart for your invoice. Just kind of sit there and figure out your head and tell them, hey, this is a clean out and there's a lot of moving parts to it. So your range is going to be between so and so. And that's going to include the labor, the disposal, and the work that involves of packing everything up and hauling everything out. So just let them know, like, this covers everything. You don't have to sit there and list off to the client, yep, so I'm going to charge you for this, that, and that. Don't be like a mechanic where they break down everything. Just give them the flat price, but in a range, and just let them know, overall what it's going to be. But in your head, you'll have materials, you'll have time, you'll have any surcharges for heavy items or appliances, you'll have the stairs taken care of. All these things will be bunched together so you're not losing money. And another thing too that's good about doing these is all that extra money you're making helps cover you for your business when something goes wrong. So I like to look at it also as, if I'm having to go up a flight of stairs or down and I'm bringing a larger piece with me and I charge an extra $25 for it because of it, let's say I bang up the drywall on the process, because going downstairs is already a liability no matter what. So let's say I bang up the drywall because of it and I have to go out and repatch it up, and that costs me, let's say, $30-$40 in time and material. That $25 extra I charge for the staircase will help contribute to that, so I'm not just losing $40 out of my pocket right off the back. So that's another good reason for doing it. That's a little bit more of like a moving tactic. They would charge extra for certain things, but they would kind of go towards the possibility of so-and-so happening. So something to keep in mind. But that's it for tips. Those are just a few of the things I've done. Some of them I don't do, but I'm like aware of them. But we're gonna go ahead and finish up this job, and then I'm gonna be dropping off the metal at the house where I keep my trailer, because there's a guy that comes by and grabs it all and he's always super happy about it. I don't like going to the scrapyard. And then I'm gonna go to Goodwill and drop off donations, and then we'll go to the dump. But at the end of this, I'll throw up some pictures of the load size and how much money we made. So thanks for watching. Bye.